This is Katherine and Christopher Tipper of Hunter Benefits Consulting Group, and this is our On the Couch Friday Bourbon edition.
That's right. All right, so today is July 9th, and today is also International Sugar Cookie Day. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have it.
Where is mine?
No, it's at home. Sorry, dear. Okay. So today, our On the Couch, the Friday afternoon bourbon edition, is our attempt to be humorous about all things ERISA, 401k, IRS, the DOL, and all that other good stuff. Today, we hope we have a helpful segment on required minimum distributions, right?
Yes, the mighty RMD.
You're looking forward to this, aren't you?
Actually, a lot of people talk about RMDs because people have to take them.
They're kind of like the weather. We're going to talk about them, but we're not going to do anything about it. So we'll be back in a second. We're back. So
We loved that brief Washington update.
we didn't have it yet. Kristina,
Yeah,
do we have an update or an update?
we have an update because
It's an update?
it was a holiday week and it was
Okay.
a very patriotic holiday.
Yes.
So all of the people in Washington are also very patriotic. So they've all been out celebrating.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still arguing over Secure 2.0
Okay.
with
so
nothing coming out yet.
watch this space.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
And like I said, it was a short update.
There we go. So thank you very much,
It's
Kristina.
called foreshadowing.
Right. All right. So what do RMDs stand for?
Rotten, miserly,
Distributions? No.
dastardly.
Okay. Do you remember what they used to be called?
MRDs.
Right. Why did they change the name, Kristina?
Because they wanted to.
When? When? What, this was like
Oh God,
09?
this is, oh yeah,
This
around
is
there.
SPIBSPA? No, not SPIBSPA. What was 2006? PPA?
No, it was
What was-
before that.
Boy,
Egtra?
memory lane.
ACTRA? Okay.
Egtra or
So it's a long
SPIBSPA.
time ago. But
Yeah.
those of us who started in the business, we remember being MRDs. And there was
MRDs.
so during the transition period, I didn't know what the heck to call
Well,
it. Just required.
I think it was always both ways in the regulations,
Okay.
and they just called them MRDs, and then suddenly someone decided,
They're
no, it
officially-
needs to be an RMD.
required minimum distribution. All right.
Anything to make life more complicated.
So there's an acronym fluidity in the government.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
That is true. So now then, who are subject to RMDs, Catherine? Do you know?
People who have money in their account and hit a certain age.
Right, that's part of the criteria.
And
What's
a
the other?
little bit depends on ownership.
That's half of it,
And a
yeah.
little bit determines if you're still working.
Right, okay. So, in people who are 72 or older, there's, if somebody's, because it changed to 72 in the Secure Act, December of 2019, so you could still be under 72 this year, I think, and still be subject to 70 and a half?
No,
No?
not
Because of
this
the-
year.
You're
It
72
was a
already?
long year, they called them off.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
Okay.
a long year, they called them off.
All right, so 72 and older, this year, you're subject to RMDs, all right? This is true if you are an owner in the business, whether you're working or not, and if you're not an owner, if you're no longer working, you're subject to the RMDs. But if you're 87 years old and still working, good news, you don't need an RMD. That's
Big
a different,
disclaimer.
If you're
different
not
video,
an
though.
owner. If you're not
If
an
you're not an
owner.
owner, yeah.
But there's a big disclaimer. Always keep straight whether or not you're talking about 401k plans or IRAs.
And we're only talking about
Right.
401k, well,
You can't
defined
have-
benefit plans. We're talking about ERISA, DOL,
Right.
not IRAs. Big
Just
difference.
Big
Correct.
difference. Can't map it over exactly.
Okay, so the reason why I thought we'd have this hopefully brief, not going to happen, video on RMDs is a number of people over the past couple of weeks have been asking me about them, and they've been getting their facts wrong, so I thought this was a very good opportunity to try to set the record straight. Okay, so what's the big difference, do you know, between defined benefit plans and defined contribution plans when it comes to RMD. Have we ever talked about this?
Well, there is a difference in the funds in the sense that 401k plans are the participant's account, and in defined benefit plans, it's a pooled money.
Doesn't matter. No, nice try. A for effort though, all right? Right? So, okay. Now with a 401 or a defined contribution plan, the amount is recalculated each year and you can take more. It's not an RMD, all right, but you can take more money out than the RMD.
Well, then there's two parts to the distribution.
Gonna get to that in a minute.
Okay, well, when you,
Right, I'm with you.
being very technical.
You're absolutely right. Table that for a second. But with the defined benefit plan, it's not discretionary. It goes into pay status. The participant must pick an option, and the payments must go out over the participant's life, the joint lives of the participant and beneficiary, or for a period certain, all right? So you don't get to have a different amount each year, and you don't get to take out a larger amount. Yes, dear.
Is that really called an RMD? And
Yes.
It is.
It's still an
So
RMD.
use the same thing.
Yes, it's still an RMD.
Okay.
The
Because I
same.
like distribution payout status as the clear signal within the plan.
Right, but you have to go into pay status, and it's the same people, owners and/or people who are over age 72 and are not owners and no longer working. All right. So now going back to what you were talking about with defined contribution plans, did I miss something? Okay.
No, I'm just laughing.
What?
Yeah, it means you're not holding the job. Just
What?
going to work and not working. Anyway.
So. Leave this in. I'm amusing myself. So, Catherine.
Yes.
What you were talking about, I think, a minute ago, was that if you're in a 401k plan, you can take out more. Let's just say your RMD was $99,000. Could you take out $100,000?
Depending on the document, though, because if you take out the extra money, you do need to have a document that says that you can take things out in
All right,
general.
then.
Because if you take out a little smidge, but the document says it all needs to be paid out in a
She's
year.
learning, Kristina. Yeah.
I
What?
know.
What am I
You're
doing?
learning. You're learning.
Learning.
No,
I
you're
did
great.
distributions for a long
I
time, and I
but
know
yeah,
that there's something
you're right. You were
about lump
presu-
sums.
and,
So
and that in-service distributions are allowed. All right, but
Yeah.
what I was hoping for was that the $99,000 is not subject to the mandatory 20% withholding because it can't be rolled over.
Right.
That's another part, we forgot that. RMDs must be taxable distributions. They cannot be rolled over to an IRA or another plan. They must be taxable distributions.
because the whole purpose of it is to take money out of to pay out the accounts within your.
Like,
I thought it was to generate income tax.
well, that
Well, it
too.
is the same
It was
thing.
used to balance a budget at some point, and pay for a new law. I
Right.
forget
The
which
purpose is
one.
that you don't have an account for the next 200 years, and
but,
it is
Right.
something.
but in my $99,000 of $100,000 example, the 99 can't be rolled over, is not subject to the 20% mandatory withholding, but the 1,000, if it's not rolled over because it's eligible, that is subject to 20% withholding. So you could have a $100,000 distribution and a $200 withholding, right?
Right.
Right, and two
Well-
1099s.
And two 1099s.
1099s.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Has to be reported separately.
So then for me, what I love about these videos is
Once
I learn
again.
stuff. What?
Call us, and we'll help you figure it out.
Exactly. So I was a little confused as to what happens with a Roth 401k account balance. All right? And what happens with a Roth 401k account balance, Catherine?
Well, you have money in your 401k, and you are the age where you need an RMD. So all the money in there is going to be looked at, and an RMD is going to be done on it. So if you want to avoid that, and you have Roth money in your plan, just roll it straight over into a Roth IRA.
Because if you roll the Roth balance from your 401k plan to a Roth IRA, that money's not subject to an RMD, but it is inside a 401k plan.
And there's some sense into that because there is supposed to be the idea that for the sake of employers having a plan, they don't want people in their plan for 120 years. you know? They just
They'd be
straight up
dead.
don't.
They tried that. It was to, they wanted to leave it to their children. Well, why do you have a retirement plan
But
if you're
that's
leaving
super
it to your
tough on the
children?
employers to have to keep track of that.
Right.
So, I mean, so there is some relief
Right.
in that you can take on a plan and know that you just don't have to deal with, I should say that nicer. You don't have to work with
Missing
people forever.
participants. Missing participants. Let's call them missing participants. Okay.
Having a bad day?
Yeah.
Getting better.
Even HR. So, 3 takeaways. RMDs are now for people 72 years old and older. Defined benefit plans are different than defined contribution plans. They have to go into pay status. And takeaway number 3, if you would like your Roth 401k account balance to not be subject to RMDs, roll it out to a Roth IRA. How's that sound, Catherine?
Sounds beautiful.
All right.
Hallelujah.
So, please, if you haven't already, find us at hunterbenefits.com. If you've got any specific questions, email us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. And like, share, comment, you know all that stuff.
And to quote Cher, I got you, babe.
Oh, thank you, dear.
But
See you
no
later. Have a
cookie.
good weekend.